Yeah, they didn't hear me sing.
No. You should. Just do another rendition for us.
No, you did that last episode. That's your thing.
Sing?
Yeah.
Did I?
You don't remember that?
I'm gonna be honest, I sing a lot of things, and I, like, words, phrases, and I don't realize I'm doing it.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is a me problem.
I'm glad you're aware of it.
Especially at work, I'm singing along to their silly little commands, and...
I'm really upset that they don't have Madison Beer at DSW anymore.
Does she work there?
No, but they played her music over the stereo or whatever.
There was a while, I think for at least like a year, that it was the same like 5 popular songs from her.
Yeah, and I liked them.
Well, now it's Christmas music. It's been Christmas music since the day after Halloween.
Oh. Who? Oh, it's like corporate that has control of the...
So we just turn it on and it's Jingle Bell for the last 2 months. So it's been great.
I literally miss working at DSW and hearing like Khalid come on, Madison Beer.
They have some good radio hits. I will give them
That's
that.
what I'm saying. I remember being in clearance and just jamming along to those. Like, I would take off my AirPods just to listen to those songs. Now, ever since I quit, nothing. But I wouldn't work there again. Let me tell you that.
I'm sure
even if they played Madison Beer.
I was going to say, I assure you, I shouldn't be working there again. Most people listening to this, if they've worked there, will never be working there ever again.
I feel like most people that listen to this, that work in retail, they're like, they feel the exact same like pain of like listening to the same songs over and over.
We should definitely do a retail episode because we have enough content for
too much content
to hold a retail episode.
I remember I was at UFIT right behind us, and they were playing some good songs. You know those times like you forget your AirPods at the gym and you're like, man, like now I have to listen to this boom boom ass like gym music. Well, one day they were playing like Drake, they were playing 21 Savage, they were playing all these hits, all these bangers, just motivational hype, like
what
rap
are your
songs.
Thoughts on Drake?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Because I have a theory about Drake.
Okay.
That like, specifically guys.
Well, because I was a certified lover boy, but never mind. It's her loss. That was good. Like, that was good. I love how he did like the album. If that's what you're talking about. No, it's not.
That's not the theory.
I know it's not the theory, but that's another theory that people are like believing. Is that he purposely did those 3 albums.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the name of his albums are. I know.
So why are you trying to talk about a Drake theory?
Listen. Because I have a theory that's why when you said that, I was like, okay, cool. I have a theory that if you're a guy and your favorite rapper is Drake, you're in love with your best friend's girlfriend.
Okay, well, Drake's not my favorite rapper, first off. I just enjoy his music.
You can look at me that way all you want. My theory still stands.
But I've never heard that theory. Is that like something you came up with?
No, that's literally something from my silly little head. So no, you haven't heard of it.
No, well, first off, thanks for putting that in my head now.
Mm-hmm. Now every time you listen to Drake, you're gonna be like, "Oop, can't be the favorite though."
No, I don't think that's a valid theory. I
Why?
mean, just because I don't know. Like,
do you know anyone whose favorite rapper is Drake?
I actually don't. I don't think I do.
I do.
Oh, do you?
And that's
do they like her?
The theory for at least those 3 of them. I don't know for sure, but I definitely think they prove it. 100%.
Anywho, going back to my original story, I was at UFIT one time, and they were like blasting Drake and 21 and just some really, like, Pop Smoke too. Stuff to get you really hyped in the gym, you know? And like after my workout, I was leaving, and I went up to the girl at the front, and I was like, hey, is your phone on the aux? Because this is some good-ass music. Like, usually it's not good. Like, if they're remixes or there's just not, like, good
random
songs.
EDM dubstep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just not good music. And just this one day it happened. I'm like, bro, is your, like, phone on the aux? Like, are you controlling the music right now? Because it's very, very good, and I think you should do it every single day. And at the time, I was going, like, every single day. And she was like, no. Like, this is just the company radio or whatever. I was like,
good for them, you fit.
yeah, but then they went back to playing like bad EDM music, and
it's always like a song that doesn't need to be remixed with dubstep.
Yeah.
Like a slow song, and then they
just speed it up.
Put a beat drop in the middle of it.
Well, another thing was like, I thought it was off someone's phone too, because like it was explicit music too.
Yeah.
Like they didn't bleep anything out. It was just all in there. I was like, wow, this is if I had my AirPods in right now.
Do you think it's because they went bankrupt?
UFIT?
I think they did.
We're literally in front of one right now.
No,
does it look bankrupt?
They got bought by someone though.
Oh, they did change their. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, but UFIT was all purple and green. So they would categorize their machines or whatever by like lower body would be green and upper body would be like purple, and everything else like the weights were just whatever color. And that was a good way to decide like if the machine was low body or upper body. And I guess they got bought out by someone or changed like CEOs or whatever. And I remember I got back from Greece and okay, all right, hear me out. That's another story. But I got back and their whole thing was renovated. So it's all like black and gray in there now. All the machines are black and gray.
So now what are you supposed to do on leg day? Guess?
Yeah, I guess so. I liked it.
Guess so.
Like everything was just green and purple. I was like, all right, cool. I like this. And then it's just not anymore. And so now it kind of like is like a depressing kind of like vibe. Yeah. Like I like the colors like gray and like black or whatever. But like just to have them in like this gym where you're supposed to be like, you know, motivated, amped up, you just don't get that vibe anymore. It's like a rusty, musty, crusty.
I think you should buy UFIT and tell them that.
Maybe if this podcast like pops off or something, that might be in the works. Like a little collab with UFIT.
Stay tuned for the boosnbays UFIT
Could you imagine? How rinky-dink would that be?
Well, considering I don't go to the gym, I would be like, I don't know what we're collabing on.
But I want to collab with them. We'll collab with this whole plaza.
Pool store included?
Sure, it's Florida. Like, why not? People swim in December.
That's true.
My pool's been very cold. I won't lie with you. What? There's some nice rims on there.
No, I think she left her kid in the car by accident.
Who?
You can't see them because they're behind the RV.
Should we be calling? Should we stop and call?
Nah, there's an adult. They're fine.
Oh, okay. That's what I do sometimes. Like when I'm driving with someone, they need to go in. I'm just like, I put a note on the car window or whatever. I'll say, you know, temperatures on the cars. The car's on, the temperature set at something like the Teslas do with like dog mode.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, I'm alive. Like I'm not being kidnapped. I'm okay.
You do that?
No.
Oh.
It was a fucking joke, man.
Well, I was like, I honestly wouldn't put it past you.
You're saying I would do that?
Like sleeping in like the lib parking lot? You know? I don't think any college students would give a fuck, but...
No, I don't sleep in... Nah, if I'm... I don't think any college students would care if I'm dead in the car. They'd be like, oh, he's taking a nap.
Go Bulls, right?
He woke up early, oh.
Oh, that's so sweet.
No, I'm just dead.
No, really. Which, speaking of college, we have opted to bypass the alcohol in this episode, and we are currently sipping down some Starbucks instead.
Yeah, it's finals week, baby.
Finals week.
Almost done. Got some very challenging finals, but I think we're gonna do good. We're gonna pass all the classes this semester.
Manifesting. I'm hoping.
Oh, at this point, it's kind of up in the air.
Shit out of luck if not.
I'm kind of just guessing that I'm passing all my classes. Some of my classes are literally just you have 5 grades. Hopefully you don't fail one, because if you do, you might want to withdraw.
Classes like that give me so much anxiety when it's like, oh, they basically don't teach the entire semester, but they're like, oh, but you also have a 300-point final essay due and a practical due. No notes, though. Those are the only 2 grades you have for the semester, so if you get a bad grade, damn, sorry.
Well, you know, it's funny because I'm taking a class called Business and Environment, and like I told you, we had like a substitute, like an intern teacher or whatever, and he's literally like going with the flow. He's like, all right, so we've had to do these weekly presentations every week from the beginning of class with our group, and now he's like, oh, if you have a 300 or above, you should be fine. If you have a 300 below, you might need to pick up some work.
You have 299.
Actually, I have 301 for your information. Anywho, we have our final due. Hasn't told us anything about it. Class ends next week. And I'm just sitting here like, because I remember in one of the discussion posts, he's like, we could do like a final presentation, which is basically all your presentations just combined into one long one. And everyone was like, no, we don't want to do that. And then he was like, or we can have like a little pizza party. And I'm like, a pizza party in college? What is going on?
He's like, you just send me home and give me 100.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can you just not, like, can we just do neither and just not let me come in? Like, make me come into class? Yeah. Let me sleep in, save the gas.
Save the gas, save the time.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm hoping I pass that class because I just need to pass classes, honestly, at this point. I need to get out of USF.
And go to...
anywhere else.
Are you going to go to grad school?
Hell no. Are you kidding? I wanted to. I'll tell you that. I wanted to so bad. Because I was like, man, wouldn't that be nice if I just got my master's and tell people like, yeah, I got my master's in marketing, got my master's in business, whatever. I know how to run a business. I looked at the requirements and I ain't stupid, but those requirements make me feel stupid.
The requirements for a lot of degrees, like I know for like nursing, it's literally like 6 pages. It's a 6-page checklist that you have to have.
Really?
For nursing school. And I'm like, wow. Might not be passing that.
Well, it's crazy because like the requirements to get into like the business like majoring for marketing, I guess, it's nothing like crazy. It's like, oh, you need to have like this GPA, you need to have this, a letter of recommendation or whatever. I can do everything but the GPA part. And like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I don't know what I'm doing, because I kind of do. But I think it's just the work sometimes. Like, you know, sometimes you're just sitting there and you're like, do I want to do this discussion post?
No.
Exactly. You're like, no. And so then you're like, okay, whatever. I just played some video games instead of doing this. So you're kind of just sitting there like, at the end of the semester, like, damn, I should have done that discussion post because you have a 69.2, and you're like, ooh.
You said with that, even if I got 1 point for that,
yeah,
I would have made it.
That's what I'm saying. So like, sometimes it gets kind of dicey at the end.
What's a little dicey?
A little dicey at the end of the semester, and you're like, man, can I even pass? But you're not stupid. You know, that's the thing. Like, you're not stupid. You obviously know what you're doing. You just are lazy.
Yeah.
As hell. That's me. So like right now, I'm rocking with my little like 2.8, 3.0 GPA.
What's that?
Mm-hmm. And for like the masters, you need like the 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, something like that. And I'm like, well, guess I'm getting my bachelor's.
You said honestly, bachelor's just as good.
Yeah, that sounds really good to me. Like, all right, moment of silence from Madison's phone.
I guess it can stay.
We're
there.
never getting that back.
No, maybe I'll summon the Bell Witch to do so.
Oh yeah, we have to get to our podcast of the evening. We're recording this the day before it's getting released.
It's been finals week. Please don't judge us too harshly for that.
Anywho, welcome back to the Boos and Bays podcast. I'm your host Jace. This is Madison, and today we're telling the story about the Bell Witch. Madison, give us more information about that.
So,
after the whole...
Yeah, after that entire... So you guys all know how our classes are going.
15 minutes of just school talk.
So the Bell Witch came about in the early 1800s. John Bell moved to Robertson City County. I can't read my own handwriting.
That
Robertson
is so bad.
County.
Let me tell you, right?
Or sometimes I don't... Never mind. Tennessee.
No, go ahead, say it.
No.
Say it. Expose yourself.
Tennessee. In 1817 is when the first sighting happened. John Bell was out in his little cornfield, saw an animal, body of a body of a dog, head of a rabbit. He tried, I don't know why, he tried shooting it, and it disappeared. So he thought that the animal just ran away. Later that night, he heard beating sounds on...
We know what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
I have to put the explicit thing on this one.
Really. Beating sounds throughout the house, and each night it became higher in force and higher in frequency of just banging every night. And it eventually started every day.
Nah, he was getting frisky with his wife.
And then he blamed it on a witch.
Who wouldn't?
Honestly, that's fair. It was the 1800s. You're only supposed to do it once for conception, and that's about it.
Oh, and I do want to say... Actually, go ahead. I'll say it later once we get into it a little bit.
Okay. So, as the nights went on, the kids started complaining because then they said that there were rats eating their bedposts. And the invisible entity at this point started, tossing pillows, they're bedding on the floor, acting a fool. Well, as the witch developed, grew stronger, they started hearing whispers. Yeah. Might have been the rats. The youngest, Betsy Bell.
What kind of name?
Okay, they only had so many.
I don't care if it's the 1800s.
Never mind. Well, old Betsy, she got slapped.
Oh.
It's not funny. Hair pulled. She got welts left on her.
Damn.
And they wanted to keep it like a family secret because they were like, hey, we don't want everyone to know that we are getting terrorized on our little farm. So they kept it quiet until they told their neighbor, James Johnston.
Not related to me, no.
Related to you. And he was basically like, nah, you guys are crazy. There ain't no witch. And then he went over there. The same thing happened to him. So he said...
got smacked?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he said, in the name of the Lord, who are you and what do you want? And the witch, no response. So he said, I've got it under control. He did not. The voices became louder and unmistakable.
Unmistakably? Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry. I apparently write something down. Can't say it though. Was singing,
I'll be doing the story next time.
Was singing hymns, quoted scripture,
The witch,
Bible scripture.
Oh, he was doing this.
No, the witch.
Oh,
singing,
the witch just were a little religious.
Yeah, singing some Sunday hymns around the house. Would try to have conversations with them. She really hated John Bell, the patriarch of the family. Really hated him.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
John and a couple other guys, they all fought under.
I was thought you were going to say something else. I said, wow, this is going to be...
What?
They're going to get explicit on this podcast.
They all fought under General Jackson. And they, during, their battle, they went to war, not really sure. They went to the Bell property to kind of, recoup in the little tents. When they got to the property line, their, horse got stuck, their wagon got stuck, they couldn't get it out, nothing.
Okay, so
They tried pushing the horses, tried pushing the wagons, weren't working.
So, I think last episode, I talked a little bit about this, and this being, the first true, paranormal death, ever recorded. And I did remember hearing that, when I watched the video about this, I do remember someone saying, Andrew Jackson, a bunch of famous people.
Yeah.
A bunch of famous people,
I like how you say famous people it's Beyonce.
Maybe Beyonce went. I don't know. But old-time famous people, past presidents, such, they went and they were like, yeah, this place ain't it, chief?
Yeah, literally. Which is crazy, just because I feel that... I don't want to say it makes it more reputable, but kind of.
If
it's an actual... Yeah.
But you know what? Okay, this is what I was gonna say. This is what I learned, or I guess I heard from last week, and that maybe people back in the day don't they see these apparitions, or they like see these pillows flying across the room or whatever, you know. Maybe not the pillow things, but like the apparitions and the noises and everything, because they are less stimulated. You know what I'm saying? So like the reason we don't see ghosts now is because we have our phones, we have like TVs, we have everything, and so we're more stimulated on something else. But back in the day, they didn't have anything. So when you're sitting there at night, not on TikTok,
and also they don't really have electricity.
Exactly. So it's like you have to kind of, you're in your head. You're like making things up, like you're.
And it's not
things.
like, I feel like also when I'm at home alone and I hear something, I'm like, oh, that's probably the TV.
Exactly. You know, like maybe I know we were talking about like why. I think you asked the question like, why don't you think anything like this happens now? You know, and I think that might be a true like case of it, is that we have so much other stuff going on that we don't realize it, or like it just, people were a little bit more like not skeptical, but they're like more prone to believing in that kind of stuff because they didn't have certain things to keep their mind off of it like we do now.
Yeah, and also I feel like a lot of times for people with paranormal experiences, I do obviously think still paranormal experiences happen like modern day, but I do also think that people see it so often that they might not necessarily like, or they more so, or they, not that they're used to it, I guess, but they more so think that like, oh, I saw someone on TikTok said that when their TV would randomly turn on, it was a ghost. Whereas like back then, unexplainable things, there wasn't social media, there wasn't Google, like it was just kind of like, oh,
I mean,
it's not normal.
To be honest,
they don't know it's not normal. They don't know what it is.
You know what? I will say there was one night I was on PlayStation with my friend Tyler, and I was sitting there, and I have like this little bottle of hand sanitizer that he knows that I spray every time I get like, not antsy, but like I'm in the zone when I'm gaming, so I'll spray the little hand sanitizer on, you know, rub that, get the scent going and everything. I'm like, all right, let's go. And it was on that side one night, and what happened was that thing started rolling.
Oh, absolutely not.
It started rolling, and I was like, there's no air vent here. Like, anyone that's been in my room knows it's hot as hell in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally the devil's ass. Because it's so hot. You step in that room and you start sweating. So there's no ventilation going through there, even though I have an air vent.
Do you have a fan?
No. I do have a fan, but like, you know, sometimes I get a little cold. Yeah. Okay. But then if I turn it down, I get a little hot. You know, so it's kind of like that. But I remember I was sitting there playing with him, and that thing started rolling. And I was like, bro, what's going on here?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, and I think it was so traumatizing to me because I had no idea. It was so unexplainable, and it made me nervous so much that I started tearing up. And I will forever think about that moment, and I tell it to anyone, and that's my like paranormal story. So continue. Just wanted to get that out there, you know. It's been on my mind for a couple episodes.
You said just wanted to warn you that if you ever go to my room, don't. Because...
No, I'm friends with Jimmy. He's he's my ghost.
Your resident ghost pal?
Yeah, I dab him up.
Oh, Casper. Well, they get to the Bells family property, and one of the men was acting a fool. He's like, oh, I have a silver bullet. I'm gonna blow this bitch away. Kept saying that there was like no activity on the farm, like that they were basically being dramatic about the whole thing.
Was it one of Andrew Jackson's like generals? Are you good?
No.
You want to sit still?
No, I can't sit still. Well, it was one of the people along with like John,
the soldiers.
Yeah, and the guy ended up getting jerked like violently.
This podcast is getting a little
circle jerk.
This podcast getting a little too wild.
R-rated.
Oh my god.
Got jerked around. Felt like he had pins in his body. He was beaten. He got a swift kick to the stomach.
I've been there, done that.
And the entity said he was a fraud.
The witch.
The witch.
Is this witch like real? Like, is she like? Can you see her, or is she like an apparition, kind of like a ghost witch?
I think an apparition. Like, I don't think it was an actual, like,
Witch.
Like an actual witch that like died and wreaks havoc. Like the story started with the entity already being there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so they don't know what it's from, because even like the research I did, because usually a lot of stuff like that, it's like, oh, well, you know, we did discover that like 100 years prior, you know, a witch was hung at, you know, at the oak tree.
I don't know. Okay. You just named the whole thing of The Conjuring, but...
Did I?
Pretty much.
Okay, well...
Thanks for that.
You're welcome for that synopsis. But, yeah, they didn't say that there was, like, any... that no one knows where she came from. She's just pissed. So, she... After all of that, she vowed to kill John Bell. For whatever reason, hated him. She caused him... Like, it was to the point where he was so ill because she was causing him, like, seizures. Like, if he was sitting down, she would take his shoes off and hurl them at him. Like, just to slap him in the face. He ended up passing. Because, because of, like, the seizures, the beatings, everything else. After he died,
Jeez,
his family found a black liquid that was seeping from, in their kitchen. And they were like, well, let's try giving it to the cat and see what happens. And
why though?
And the
I don't even like cats like that, but why are you gonna do that to the damn cat?
No, I know.
Come on
Especially
now.
the family cat. They're like, hey Johnny, look at this.
I would have picked my least favorite child and been like, here you go.
Betsy.
Betsy's gonna get it tonight.
But they gave the black liquid to the cat. The cat jumped up in the air and then died.
What?
Like, literally, like, jumped like, and then, died. Dead.
Okay.
Just like John.
Oh, you didn't have to with Johnny like that. Come on now.
But then after that, they thought that since John was dead, that would mean the hauntings and stuff would stop. Betsy tried moving on, or because Betsy's also the older one.
There's
the
two
mom.
Betsy's?
And so weirdly enough, the mom's name's Betsy, the husband's name is John, and then their kids are John Jr. and Betsy.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so Betsy met another guy named Joshua. The witch was not happy about it, told her not to remarry. Don't know why. Was just really hell-bent on not having her remarry. And basically tormented her and the other guy until they broke off their engagement. Because they literally just couldn't handle it anymore. So, since then, because that was in the... Like,
I'm looking
like
at your notes right now. I can't even.
I know.
I don't even know when that was.
I know. It was to the late 1800s that all of this is going on. But even in like 1934, the first book was written about the Bell Witch. And it's still a well-known thing. If you go to the property, you can hear kids laughing. The witch mimics other people that you know. There's like candle lights that just dance around the property. No one knows where it's from.
I'm assuming people do like rituals and like stuff like that here too. Like people will go and do it. You know what I'm saying?
They might. Personally, because this, I'm not gonna lie, I've read a lot of ghost stories. This one definitely is the most violent ghost.
Yeah, she killed the dude. That's the only reported death, paranormal death, that's been ever like accounted. So yeah, this witch, she wants to kill. She's out for vengeance. But I just found out that it's around Tennessee where this takes place. So, you know what else is around Tennessee?
What?
Atchison, Kansas.
Is it really?
I mean, isn't Kansas next to
Don't ask me. I don't know history. I almost asked you a couple dumb questions. I don't know history. I don't know geography. I know nothing.
Well, let me... God. Because maybe... Because you said it's the late 1800s, so maybe, you know, Sally.
Sally? What if they're friends?
Could you imagine? That makes me want to go to the Sally house even more. Yeah, I mean, that's like one state apart, you know? You just gotta pass Arkansas.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just hit both. I know there's a cave that for like the Bell Witch.
Are you trying to anger them? Then just go down to Key West, hit old your boy Robert.
Remember, we're setting up the Avengers movie right here.
Oh yeah.
I'm Thanos, and
which one of them?
ghosts have to take me
Which
down.
one of them do you think you could take in a fight?
Easily Robert the Doll. We
Are
talked
you
about
kidding me?
Yeah, we talked about this.
See, I think Annabelle.
We didn't talk about Annabelle though.
Okay.
You think you could take down Annabelle?
Yeah.
What's the difference between Annabelle and Robert the Doll?
Robert
Robert the Doll's the knockoff Annabelle. What you mean?
No, sweetie. Robert the Doll has more evil. If he was able to get a grown man
To say,
you get a whole, I'm going to redecorate the entire upstairs so you have a nice little bachelor
that dude's a simp. That's why.
For Robert,
Yeah.
not for his wife.
He's a simp for Robert. He doesn't give a crap about his girlfriend.
I don't think that's historically accurate.
No, because here's the thing. It's like Annabelle, or I don't know when Annabelle, got created or whatever, but I'm assuming that Robert the Doll is just like literally people are sending him notes. Oh, you canceled my flight. Come on now. Oh,
Yeah.
you did this. Oh, you made me lose my sock. Oh, okay, all right.
It's my sock.
Like, all right, Annabelle, what did Annabelle do? People send letters to Annabelle being like, oh man, you made me amputate my leg. Like, come on now. I don't know if that actually happened, by the way, disclaimer, but possibly. If a doll or a spirit made me amputate a body part of mine, that doll or that ghost would have a chokehold on me for the rest of my life.
I think it's people like you, though.
What? What?
Because it's people like you that are like, oh, I could take the doll, and then guess what? You're 2 Achilles down, a wife down, $100 million down. I mean, I get you. I was about to say, I get that you have to be $100 million up, but
I'd be up.
I did just see, though, I was looking up, the Bell Cave extra other stuff, because I know that you mentioned earlier that you remember there being a cave. So there was a cave, and several incidents occurred near the cave. Yeah. One of them was a little boy who got his head stuck between 2 rocks.
That kid's stupid.
Yeah. Well,
who does that?
This little boy.
Stupid.
Because after that, he yelled for some time. The entire cave lit up, and invisible hands tugged at his legs. And his head was free, and he was pulled all the way back to the cave entrance. So, I don't know. I don't think he died, but they also say that apparently, allegedly, he was supposed to, or the witch was supposed to come haunt the descendants of John Bell.
Mm-hmm.
There haven't been any reports of it, but they said that the family is also very private. But they live still in that area.
They still live in the area.
They live
in
Tennessee, Arkansas.
Oh, that's a state!
And Kentucky.
I thought you meant around the property.
No, they live within the area of the property. They just don't live on the property. Some of them do.
Let me tell you. If I'm getting haunted here in Tampa, Florida, and I move to Atlanta, this hood rat area, this ghost, I'm going to have to worry about getting shot and this little ghost?
Yes.
Because I'm 800 miles away from...
Well, are you a descendant of someone that was harmed by a ghost?
No, but by the way I'm talking, I might.
See, you are very bold with it. You're going to be real sorry if at the foot of your bed you hear your dog just yip, 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 and you're like, what's going on, Kaya?
Hey, Kaya, shut up.
And then it's just Robert just standing there.
With a
knife.
That reminded me of the scene from American Horror Story, the first season. I don't know if you saw it, but the one girl was like, or the 2 boys were playing outside the murder house, and they're like, oh, we're going to go in and vandalize this. And the little girl from outside, she's like, you're going to die. That's literally what you sounded like. Like, if you keep talking like that, you're going to die. And I'm like, all right.
Well, you might.
No, but I'm going to let that... No, see, I think I'm very friendly as a person. So I'm gonna let this ghost know what's up. I'm gonna be like, all right, you scratch me a little bit. That's fine. Let me know you're here. Okay. But after that, we're gonna dab up. We're gonna play a game of Connect 4. We're gonna play some
But
iMessage games.
how do you know that this witch? How old do you think they are?
How old do I think the witch is?
Yeah. Like, how old do you think...
Not old enough to know what an iMessage game is. Wait, that didn't make any sense.
No, not really, but...
She's too old to know what an iMessage game is.
Because if you think, like, do you think that... Like, I almost wonder, do you think ghosts evolve with the times?
No.
Okay.
I do not. I do not.
You don't even want to entertain it?
No, because...
Because, like, what if, like, the ghosts originally... Or the... So sorry. What if whoever originally was like, oh, let me, cut your rotary phone. And now they're like, nah, I'm just shattering your iPhone screen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I feel like at some estates, they don't live there still, so there's no way for... You know what I'm saying? Like, the Conjuring house, people still kind of live in the Conjuring house, but they live on, like, one side of the house, like, the unhaunted part. So it's kind of like...
Would you ever buy a haunted house?
Oh, yeah. To live in, or just to, like, kind of, profit off of?
To live in.
If I had another house, I would. So I don't have to live there 24/7. No, that's a tough, like, thing to say, because it's like, do I? Like, would I? I think
feel like
now
it would depend
but...
how haunted. Because I think even we talked about for the Robert the Doll episode that, like, the one lady, she was just, like, okay with having Robert the Doll, like, in her house.
In the attic? Is that the attic lady?
Yeah.
Or that found them in the attic?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Some are, like, okay with having them in the house, but I feel like other people are more... Because I also depends how... Like, are they just mischievous, Like,
I think
how in, like, St. Augustine, the kids, like, untie your shoelaces. It's
that would
like,
piss me off.
That
would piss me off.
You're late for, like, an interview, and it's just... like,
I'd rather get flung across the room than some little jit untying my shoe constantly. I would be... Oh, my gosh. Just wait until the monster comes out, because I would... Damn. Start decking these little ghost children.
I think you should anyway.
I'm not violent, by the way. I just want to let you know that.
Not convinced, to be honest. After you've said that you've wanted to punt every character we've spoken about.
Because these dolls, man, they're just...
It's the dolls, I will say.
We need to get off these dolls.
Dolls are creepy. Dolls are scary. Yeah. Because you don't know what kid had them. You don't know anything about that freaking doll.
What's crazy, though, is, like... I feel like most fears that people have, like dolls and clowns and everything, I'm just like, I don't get the hype.
I'm afraid of clowns.
Pussy. I'm just kidding.
To be fair, it's because my brother, when I was little, showed me It. Like, the original one.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry. When I was, like, 7 or 8, I was not happy.
When I was 7 or 8, I got lost in a Walmart. Guess what? I'm scared of Walmarts now.
Because of a ghost, or just...
Nah, I'm just stupid.
Just 'cause you're stupid, yeah. That's not your fault.
No, I wanted to check out the toys. What you mean?
Were your parents concerned?
I don't think they gave...
Okay, so one time, I mean, luckily this family doesn't really talk to me, but, like, I was brought to Chuck E. Cheese once with my family, and they left me. Or they, I got lost. There was...
That sounds like your fault.
No, literally, I came back, I was like 5. I came back to the table, and they took my cousin somewhere else. And then I found out literally a couple years ago, they didn't tell my mom that I was ever lost at a Chuck E. Cheese for like 3 hours.
Were you in, like, the jungle gym?
I was just playing, and then they just forgot about me, I guess.
Maybe you should be more self-aware.
Yeah, in retrospect, at being 5, I should have been more self-aware that the adults that were supposed to be watching me left me.
Know what your surroundings are, because
Chucky.
We're actually right next to a Chuck E. Cheese. That sounds really weird. I don't want to.
I think it was that Chuck E.
This one right here.
It probably was that Chuck E. Cheese.
I had my birthday there for like 3 or 4 years.
Last year.
Yeah, that'd be very weird if I had a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese at 22 years old.
I wonder if they let you.
What do you mean? Obviously not.
I was just asking it from a business model perspective. Like, they don't want to turn down business, but also that's creepy. That Chuck E. Cheese is probably haunted.
You think so? How many kids do you think died in the ball pit? That's not funny.
Do you think a kid has ever died in a ball pit?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think there's way too many people that have lived on this earth for there not to be a death of a certain type, kind. Like, I feel like there, any way imaginable that you think someone's died, they probably have died.
Tree falling on them?
Someone's died by that.
Awning falling on them?
Awning, yep, 100%. Coconut falling, 100%.
If it hits them in the temple, right?
That's what I'm saying. Every death has been done before, I feel like.
Getting hit in the temple also freaks me out because it's literally if you hit it don't look at me like that. If you hit it at the perfect angle, you're just dead. Drop dead.
Isn't that with, like, anything?
I mean, I don't know. Like, in the head, yeah, but not in, like, hit in general.
That's what I'm saying.
Or more football players would be just fucking dead on the field.
I'm kind of confused on what, like, you're trying to say. Are you trying to say that coconuts hitting you in the head are the only thing that can kill you?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what it sounded like.
No, I was just saying, like, if you get hit in the temple, if you get hit just right in the temple, you just drop dead.
That's do a fear unlocked for you, or?
That and the Achilles heels.
Oh my gosh.
Because
God forbid you get your Achilles snatched and then they come and hit you in the head.
Then I get conked in the head with a coconut.
Oh my gosh. Never had that fear, let me tell you that right now.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're not scared of anything.
I am scared
What
of
are your
stuff.
fears?
Oh. Spiders.
Oh, absolutely not.
I hate spiders.
There's no reason they should have 8 legs.
I just don't think they should be alive.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, but they help with the bugs. I'm like, well, I keep getting attacked by literally everything when I walk outside of my house, so I don't think that's true.
I just don't like any, like, animal that's unpredictable. You know what? Like, frogs. Frogs are so unpredictable.
Kate's afraid of frogs. I like.
Kate's my best friend, so.
Oh yes, that's true. I'll catch a frog and like release
That's
it.
disgusting.
I don't care. Why?
Because I've been, like, standing outside and I've seen, like, a frog on the wall or whatever, and it looks at you. Dead ass, it looks at you. And you're looking at it, and you're like, all right,
business.
Can I walk past you, or are you gonna jump on me? And it's like, try me, bitch. And it's gonna jump on you.
Are you more afraid of lizards or frogs? Because I feel like
frogs 100%.
I feel like a lot of people I've met recently are like afraid of lizards.
I don't like lizards as well, but they're more like dealable than a frog. Because lizards are kind of predictable. They're just like squirmy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not like a big lizard, like an iguana.
Oh, I can deal with iguanas, like bearded dragons, snakes.
That's what you think. Because I knew this girl who was eating a bagel once, and an iguana literally jumped up and like bit her hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
When she was little.
Yeah, but the iguanas in Miami are not iguanas.
What are they?
They're just not iguanas. they're a whole different, like, animal.
It's like the squirrels at USF. I've watched a squirrel at USF steal someone's homework.
You know what I saw today? So today was the first day that I kind of walked around USF, you know, because my classes are, like, right there at the business building. So I'm like, okay, let me park, go across the street, go to class, walk across the street, go home. So today was, like, the first real day that I kind of explored the campus with some of my group mates. And I was walking back to my car, and this squirrel was, like, splooting on the tree. You know what splooting is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was doing that. And this girl just stops. Literally dead out of her tracks, stops, pulls out her phone, takes a picture of this, like, squirrel splooting on this tree. I questioned everything in life at that moment. I said, who the is going to stop what they're doing, take time, pull out their phone, and take this picture of this squirrel splooting on this tree? I didn't think that squirrel was interesting enough for me to stop and look at it like she did. Let me tell you, that literally made me question life.
It also might be finals week, and you're just like, you know what? If you're not studying...
I don't study. I procrastinate.
I procrastinate, clearly.
I know.
With every... Oh?
Yeah, don't even...
Good.
I don't understand. Every time we do a car cast, something has to bang or something. It has to move.
I'm sorry.
The car honks. Someone's going to hit us. We got way off track.
Yeah, we did.
Talking about squirrels at USF and we're talking about the Bell Witch. Come on now.
Now we're getting haunted for sure. She's like, you couldn't even dedicate an entire podcast episode to me. I do want to visit just because I feel like...
The Bell Witch?
Yeah, okay. Because I almost wonder, like... I feel like there's so many, especially since there's like 25 like books written about it.
Books?
Yeah, like published books, not just like blog posts. But I almost wonder like where, I guess like not only where she came from, but why she hates that family. That like she's like I'm coming back for the descendants.
Well, you know, I've kind of read this book too many times, and I think what happened was that was her land, and they built something on top of it, that house, and she said, you ain't doing that. And
she said, in this economy?
Yeah, in this economy, hell nah. And she's like, I'm not gonna let you get away with this, like, you know. Obviously not, you know, like,
yeah.
Though you always hear about it like, oh, we built on top of like a Native American tribe burial site. What do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect? Come on.
It's like the people that will build, like, there was like I'd have to look up like the story. It was like 100-something years ago, but they built over a cemetery, and the family was like, oh my god, we're getting haunted. Yeah.
You know what I do want to do?
On like 25 bucks.
Speaking of cemeteries, I do want to go explore a cemetery at night.
We should go to Casadega.
What's that?
It's like the psychic capital of the state, I think. It's kind of by like, it's past Orlando. It's by like Deltona, like towards Daytona. They have a Devil's Share.
They got anything here in Tampa?
They have Ybor. So...
Guess not.
I would like to go in a cemetery, but do you think that there's a lot of like paranormal activity in a cemetery?
I think if you do the right things, yeah. Like, I don't think you might see like an apparition. I don't think it's like in the movies where like the cemetery's all misty and foggy and you see this apparition. I think like you have a possibility of like someone like tugging on your shirt, you know?
You just get thrown to the ground.
Yeah.
Well, because I always see
you
like...
start wrestling this.
No, really.
Someone drives by and you're just on the ground.
Well, because I always see, especially like in movies, it's always like you're exploring like a foggy cemetery, and then all of a sudden you get pushed into a random open grave.
Oh, and then you get... Well, have you heard this? Okay, this is a little more off topic, but have you ever heard of the thing, like the bells? But like,
oh yeah,
and they'd ring them to know that like you got buried alive.
What movie was that in? The Nun?
Maybe, I don't know.
When they went to go explore like the nun's like suicide.
Yeah, and then the person got pushed in and they had to ring the bell. That's how they knew if you got buried alive or if you were still alive and they buried you or something.
Which is so. Imagine if that was still a thing.
With my luck, no one would hear the bell. So.
No, but it's like, oh, Grandpa died, and then you guys have a funeral, and then someone calls you, hey, great news, the bell rang.
Like, how does that even... I mean, I feel like just how, like, funerals were executed back in the day, like, that was a possibility. Like, now, you're, like, with embalming and everything, if you're dead, you're dead.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know, everything was just wild back in the day.
Wild West.
Let me tell you, people didn't have iPhones, they didn't have anything.
Had ghosts flinging them around.
I'm telling you, I still want to get flung around by a ghost.
I think you would be, out of the two of us, if we went to, like, a destination to record,
yep,
you would be the one to die.
Yeah.
I'd make friends.
With the ghosts?
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
I'd be like, hey, Robbie, loving the shoes. Like, you want a discount?
I just want... Bro, I just want to feel something.
That's a whole other podcast.
This got deep part 2.
No, this got deep part 2. It's just you sobbing for 45 minutes straight.
Not like... Because how cool would that... Like, of course no one would believe you. But, like, how cool would that be if you're, like... I wonder how, like, scarring or, like, cool that would be. If, like... Let me show you. I think it's still on my arm. Right there. You see it?
Tell them the story.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to lie, when you told me about it, I was like...
And then... Right.
I was like, you know what?
Here, you see that?
Yeah, because those don't look... They look
Like this one was like
I don't
breathing a
know
little
what
bit.
else it would be from.
And then I had sleeves that went down to like right here, and then look at that. Look. I just hit the mic.
Punch the mic across the room.
Anywho, little story time. Well, it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That happened. So in the morning Thanksgiving, I woke up, just cleaning, making food, whatever. And then I put on this hoodie. My favorite hoodie now is my Yankee hoodie.
Show people you're official.
Yeah, show people, because it's only, only the players have it, so.
The fact that you just rolled your eyes with that, I want to hate you so fucking hard.
I'm special or whatever.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
But, no, just kidding. But I put the hoodie on and just went through Thanksgiving like it was nothing. Like, just hanging out with family, eating, whatever. Take the hoodie off later, and I see these two, like, cuts, I guess. Like, what'd you call them? Like, cuts? Or, like, little
like,
scratches?
Scratches.
Okay. I had these two scratches. One is on my forearm. That one was red. Like, you saw, like, a little bit of blood, but it wasn't something you can dab up, So I'm like, that's weird. Like, first thought, I was like, oh, I definitely just ran into something. Whatever. Like, that's fine. And then I look later, and there's one under my sleeve on, like, my bicep, kind of. What would you call that area? Like, right?
Like the soft part of your underarm, but like on your bicep.
It was like right here.
Well, the underarm part of your bicep, like the under part of your bicep.
Sure. Yeah. So it was right there, and I was like, wow, it wasn't as like, there wasn't any like redness. It was just a scratch. Like it was just inflamed a little bit. All that. I'm sitting there. I'm like, huh? How did that happen? Because I had a shirt.
It's like one of those movies where like the camera pans out and Robert's just standing at your window.
Like, I saw that and I was like, huh, how did that happen? Because I have a shirt and the hoodie, so I have, like, double protection on that, like, spot. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, and then, obviously, after talking about Robert the Doll and how much I shit-talked to him.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, other ghosts and everything. My first thought was like, you know what? I definitely got.
You did get got.
But then, like, me being a little bit of a skeptic, I was like, no. I didn't. I just brushed into something again. Whatever. But it is...
Love that excuse.
It is still, like, kind of, like... I wish I could show these cuts or these scratches because they're, like, one and two different, like, angles. So they happen at two different times, obviously. And just the way they look, it's nothing crazy, but it's definitely kind of, like, they're visible. They're like, huh. That's a little weird. So, my message for Robbie the Doll.
Robbie, you guys are on that. You guys are on that wavelength.
Yeah, I dabbed them up after the episode. Yeah. Robbie and Sally and
Belle.
Belle now, I guess. I just want to let you guys know I'm coming for your ass. Don't even think you're safe.
Coming for your ankles.
Don't even think you're safe, because I'm the most powerful one now. Okay. Got a text. Got a very alarming text to go pick up some medicine.
No, really.
No, but I just wanted to put out that message to all these ghosts that we've been talking about. I'm gonna still keep shit talking y'all, because I ain't afraid. Give me some more cuts.
The card just flips. Like,
give me some more cuts, and y'all about to get got. You think you can got me? I'm gonna get got them.
Get got?
That's it. That's my message to these ghosts. Because no one's going to cut me like that.
No.
And get away with it.
Especially since it's not like you... Like, the reason that it could be a spirit is, like, you don't have a dog that's, like, jumping on you. Sometimes I get scratched by, like, a cat.
I don't want to believe it's Kaya. Because if it's Kaya...
She would never.
She's not going to be alive.
Oh!
No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, she ripped our microphones out, but she would never go that.
Man, if she ripped out the microphone and scratched me...
You'd give her up.
She's going straight to the pound. I ain't even gonna give her a chance. Straight to the...
She doesn't deserve that.
Mother effing pound. Humane Society.
Yeah. Well, on that note...
I think my house low-key might be haunted. We're gonna have to go in with, like, EVPs and EMFs and whatever and go check it out, because I have lingering little suspicion that
it probably is. I feel like most houses have a little bit of a little ghost backstory. Unless it's like a newly built house.
I guess so. I think my house was built in like the 70s.
Oh.
So, I mean, I wouldn't, if it is haunted, that'd be kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie. They'd be friends with like a little ghost or something.
But it's never it's never Casper. It's always like an Annabelle situation.
Exactly, but
they're just so angry.
Could you imagine if I just got into a fight with a ghost? Like, if I had a ghost living with me and I'm just like, all right, how are we going to handle this? Are we going to tussle? Are we going to, like what's going to happen?
Do you think your parents would move?
Probably not, knowing them. They'd be like, this is your problem.
This is your problem, not mine.
As long as it doesn't hurt me, this is your problem. I'd be like, you're right, but I can't argue with that, but...
They're going to play back the part of the episode of, like, where you said you were going to cause physical harm to the ghosts. But on that note, thank you guys so much for listening to our unhinged, back and forth, sleep deprived podcast.
The Carcast, actually.
Carcast.
We're back. We never left, but...
This parking lot. Make sure to describe.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Make sure to subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything else. Everywhere where you listen to podcasts, subscribe. And we will see you guys next week.
Give us some more recommendations on what we should do.
That too.
Because Madison can't tell a good story.
Actually, Jace just doesn't listen and plans the same story that I planned. So thank you so much for listening. Bye.